So let us continue the discussion. In the last lecture, we have discussed two services which are exempt from tax. And the name of those two services are agricultural services and education services. These two services I have discussed with you in the last lecture. And now let me start with my third service, third category of service, which if supplied is exempt from GST. So now I'm starting with my third service that is related to health sector. So see, this is the discussion which happened in the last lecture. Supply of service which are exempt. Okay, agricultural and educational. Now third service is healthcare service. This is third service. So it is next lecture. Healthcare services. Now again, which healthcare services are without GST? Okay, I hope the screen is visible to you. And now first which you should learn is serial number 46 of CGST Act notification and 48 of IGST Act notification. Now services which are provided to animals, veterinary doctor. So services by a veterinary doctor or clinic, because in clinic not only doctor comes but other services are also provided, which are provided by paramedical staff also. So I should not use the word doctor. In fact, clinic is a broader term. Clinic, in clinic, doctor comes, paramedical staff comes, and so many other services are also provided. So services by a veterinary doctor or clinic in relation to health of animals. Oblique birds. This is first which you should learn. These are tax free, no GST is required. Then stem cell. Stem cell is a new research. which has started, but still most of the people are not aware of this stem cell research, and the data of research are not so authentic. In fact, after some years, it can be a pioneer in medical treatments. So during the time of pregnancy, or you can say after delivery, the code which connects the baby with the mother, that code is discarded normally. But nowadays, that code can be preserved at very low temperatures. So we have some code blood banks, you can say, or so many companies which preserve those codes if you pay some amount. Because normally it is said that that code which is being preserved, that code has the capacity to treat even blood cancers or so many chronic diseases which can come in life of any person after some time. So that is stem cell research basically. So those services are beyond GST. Suppose I want to preserve, or a mother wants to preserve that code and the company charges rupees 12,000 for 20 years, then that 12,000 will be without GST because of this notification. So that is entry number 73 in IGST 76. It is services provided by the code blood banks by way of preservation of stem cell. That's it. This service is tax free, no GST. Now here services of animals and birds is concerned, that was tax free. Services of human is of course also tax free. So that is having separate notification number, not notification, separate entry number. And now you can say services by way of first healthcare services, by a clinic oblique authorized medical practitioner, doctors. So in all the hospitals, in all the clinic, whatever amount is paid by the patient, that is without GST. Because unnecessarily, if you do not make that service tax free, then unnecessarily the burden will fall not on the hospital but through hospital on the patients. So that is tax free. There is no GST involved. Ambulance charges without GST. So we have second point. Services provided by way of transportation of a patient, transportation of a patient in an ambulance. That's it. So that is why in ambulance also no GST is required. If ambulance person is asking for 7,000 from any patient, then that 7,000 is flat, there will be no GST. Now in hospitals, so many biomedical waste is generated. When operation happens, surgery happens, the human body parts are the body parts which are of no use in human body, or which are cancerous or non-cancerous, those are removed. But these cannot be discarded in normal sewage water. For this, we have specified industries which collect the biomedical waste and destroy that without harming the environment. You must have seen when you have visited some hospitals, different boxes are installed, and those are biomedical waste. Cotton is destroyed separately. For needle, we have separate procedure to destroy it. To destroy the surgical equipments, we have separate process. Skin or blood or etc. These things are having separate processes. So these services are provided by operators of biomedical waste. If you have carefully noticed in any hospital, a van comes and collect this garbage, and then they take away in any industry where these are destroyed in a plant. Now those services are also tax free as far as GST is concerned. Services provided by operators of the common biomedical waste. Treatment facility. That's it. Now similarly, we have washrooms installed at so many places. bathrooms are installed, toilets are installed. Sulabh International is a most common name. At so many places these services are installed. We pay and we can use that urinal. We have to pay the charges, or the people have to pay the charges, and they can use that facility. That is also tax free. The person who is sitting there is not asking GST from you because it is tax free. So services by way of public conveniences, such as washrooms, toilets, lavatories, urinal, etc. This is my healthcare heading complete. You must learn this. Fourth heading now. Sports related services which are GST free. Now in sports related services, what you must learn? So CGST entry number, IGST entry number, and description of service. Now what you need to learn? So let us learn only limited points here. When you give sponsorship services by way of sponsorship, now for example ENY, and there are big companies who sponsor the event. If you start putting GST on that sponsorship amount, then might be the companies will not come forward to sponsor any sports event. So to make sure that sports flourishes in India, why not to put sponsorship services without GST? In that case, the companies will come forward and invest or provide sponsorship to the events. Charging GST unnecessarily discourages the companies to come forward to sponsorship any sports event. So that is why sponsorship services are without GST. But to whom the sponsorship is provided, that is to be seen. Services by way of sponsorship of sporting events. Now there may be hundreds of sporting events organized, but exemption is only available if the event is organized by whom? Organized by whom? First point. Not everyone, if organizes the sporting event and someone is sponsoring the event, GST is not applicable. No. Sponsorship amount is without GST, but provided it is organized by National Sports Federation, Indian universities, Association of Indian Universities. Please wait a second. Association of Indian Universities. and inter-university sports. So many times different universities organize these sporting events. Sponsorship is also required. Sports board, etc. Or if organized by Indian Olympics Association, etc. That's it. So these three you should learn. Now the last point is sports related services, entry number 68 and 71 of IGST. Now here the services which are provided to a recognized sports body by whom. Now services are also provided to by an individual player. For example, Sachin Tendulkar is providing some services to a recognized sports body and charging 50,000 rupees. Or any other footballer is providing the services to a body and charging 10,000 rupees. That is also a service, but that is also exempt. If services are provided by whom? By, not to, by. So a player is providing some services to a recognized sports body. By whom? By an individual. Individual can be any human being. In what capacity you can provide this service? As a player, as a referee, as a commentator, as an umpire. So as a player, referee, umpire, coach. For what purpose? For participating in a sporting event organized by this recognized sports body, organized by a recognized sports body. That's it. So this much is sufficient for your level to learn from sports, so that if any numerical is also covered, then the numerical, whether that will be exempt or not, it depends upon the theory. Technically there is no numerical. If you learn this theory, you can easily attempt any case. That for example, any cricketer of Indian cricket team has charged rupees 20,000 to play in the event, which is to play as a player in the event recognized by this recognized sports body. So is this 20,000 covered under GST? Answer is no. That's it. So this, so let us cover only A point. For first point, A point only. B point is not required. That's it. Fourth category, charitable and religious services. This is my fourth category. Charitable and religious services. Here also, what type of services are tax free? Entry number under CGST, entry number under IGST. Description. Now, what type of services are tax free? So first of all, you must know that what is this charitable activity. So that is also necessary for us to know charitable activity. But my first point should be, now this was having sequence number 1. Any entity registered under section 12AA of the Income Tax Act, not GST. Under GST registration, a charitable organization might not go for any registration under GST laws. So charitable means under section 12AA of the Income Tax Act. By way of charitable activities. So any charitable entity or any entity registered under 12AA, if providing charitable services or charitable activities, if performing charitable activity, then that is GST free. Now the question arises, what is the meaning of this charitable activity? That is necessary for us to know. So this charitable activity means activities which are relating to what? Public health. First point, public health. Now within public health, is very broad topic. What do you mean by public health? So within public health there are different ways. Within public health, by way of what? Caring of ill patients, mentally disabled persons. This is treated as public health. Caring and counseling HIV patients or people who are suffering from AIDS. Caring of people addicted with drugs. These all are examples of public health. Addicted with drugs, narcotics. Alcohol. Now these things, drugs, alcohol, is the problem from which so many times young students or people suffer. Young normally the people in the age group of 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 4, 5, they cannot understand the implications, severe implication and the severe pain which this habit of alcohol and drug will give after some years. The people who get cancer because of these things, and you cannot imagine the pain when they go for any surgery. The pain is unbearable. If these people know that pain, they will never ever touch this alcohol and drug. This destroys the life. In case they have to be saved, in case they don't want to get themselves saved, then of course, then also the death also doesn't come so easily. It is a death in heavy pain. Those who are addicted with drugs and alcohol, especially the young people, because after some age people can know what is good and what is bad for them, so they are not willing to take this 2 or 3 months enjoyment which will destroy the entire life of not only them but of their family members also. So this is also treated as public health in the eyes of charitable activity. If you provide care and counseling, not only care, counseling of the person who are addicted with these. Now, family planning. If you aware the public, because the population of India is rising rapidly, and their resources, this heavy population is putting unnecessarily heavy burden on the resources of the nation, you can say of humanity, not only of the nation, but of the entire planet. So aware the public. if you are awareing, if your organization is awareing the public of family planning issues that have limited family or related to family planning, prevention of HIV infections, etc. That is treated as public health. Now, when you promote your or you advance spirituality, because India is a nation which has been uh, seen in the eyes of everyone as the nation where spirituality, etc., yoga, these things are the part of this culture since ancient times. So when you do some advancement of religion, spirituality, yoga, or legally these are, in the eyes of GST, charitable activities. When you help the people, children who are orphanaged, who have lost their parents, who are mentally traumatized people, prisoners, those are charitable activities. So when you provide education or training programs, advancement of educational programs, or any skill development, because a prisoner, even a prisoner when will come out of the jails, they have to be provided some employment, otherwise unemployment will again force that person to engage in criminal activities. So it's necessary that some skill development programs must be organized. If you say that your organization is doing charitable activity, then if you are dealing with these uh, advancements, then the government says that you are performing charitable activity. Or skill development relating to what? Relating to what? Abandoned children's. We have seen in so many cases that girls, newborn girls, are abandoned by their parents because of lack of education, because of their poor status, and because of other severe issues. They treat those young girls, baby girls, as the burden. So many charitable organizations are those which have shown their willingness to make sure that the baby gets proper care, and when she attains the age of major or 18 years, she becomes an asset to the nation. So those services, abandoned, orphanaged, or homeless children, for them education and development, if you are providing, then you are doing charitable activity. Similarly, the point is still continuing. These all are exempt. This is what we were discussing. So skill development related to prisoners, they should be given education. Senior citizens who are living in rural areas, for them if you are giving some education, skill development, that is also good. Persons over the age of 65 years residing in a rural area, not urban area. If you are giving some education or training to any person who is living in Delhi and over the age of 65, that is not treated as charitable. Rural, go in any rural area and then you provide. Physically abused persons, mentally harassed persons, providing care, education to these people. Young victims, girl victims of rape, that is physically abused. And not only girls, even we have seen where male or boys are physically abused. So these are traumatized people. A very bad experience, or you can say a heinous crime has been committed by the person against such people. So these people or these human beings need help, cooperation, trust, faith, education, development. So if any charitable organization is helping these people, then of course it's a charitable activity. Preservation of environment, it's a charitable activity. If your organization is working in preserving the planet Earth, preservation of environment, it's a charitable activity. So this is one point which I want to cover in charitable and religious service. Now second, so entry number 1 is over, and now second. So that second is services by a person. Now not organization is not doing any service. Now person by person by way of what? Like any pandit, any Molvi, or these people, they are conducting any religious ceremony. So whatever is the charge, that is without GST. Performing any religious ceremony and charging some amount, government says no need to pay GST. In our view, that is charitable. Renting of any place, of any mandir, any mosque, any gurdwara, these places are also being given on rent to generate revenue for that religious place. That is also without GST. So renting of area precincts, precincts, precincts. Exact pronunciation I'm not getting, but it is basically a place attached to that. It means place attached to that main place. Round the corner, you can say, round that place for which you are talking about. A religious place meant for general public. Owned by an entity, registered as a charitable entity. Now, for example, in any temple, there is a big hall, and that hall is given on a rent of, for example, 500 rupees per day. That rent is tax free, no GST is required. However, but rent has a limit. However, this exemption is not available if when this exemption is not available, if rent of room is, in so many big temples we have separate rooms also. If rent of rooms where charges are rupees 1000 or more per day, then you cannot claim this exemption. No exemption is to be given. In any temple, there are some 10 rooms, and for any marriage function, you have booked those rooms. Charges of that room are 1500 per day. Then that is subject to GST. That temple has to pay GST on these rent amounts which have been collected, provided the charges are 1000 or more per day. Similarly, when it is not available, if they don't have rooms but a big hall, then we have separate room. So second point, when you have community house, so renting of premises, so you don't have, for example, rooms, or even if rooms, but you are not renting the rooms on per day, you are not renting the room separately, you are renting the entire premises or community hall, where charges are 10,000 or more per day, because for all the charges is high or more per day. Third point. Now, so many of these big temples have shops also. So, renting of shops or other spaces for business purpose. Where charges are 10,000 or more, but per month now. That's it. Now, such things can come in your numerical also. They can give you an example and ask whether this service is exempt or not. So, you have to learn it. Renting of rooms, where 1,000 or more per day, 10,000 or more per day premises, and shops 10,000 or more per month. And next point, within charitable. Within charitable. Next point is related to art and culture, but within charitable. Services by way of training or coaching in recreational activities. Relating to what? So what do you mean by this recreational activity? That is related to arts and culture. That is known as charitable or religious, you can call it anyway, but it is in this category. And sports by charitable entities. Same, registered under section 12AA of the Income Tax Act. Same thing. That's it. So with this I cover my fifth heading also, charitable and religious. Now sixth, legal service. My sixth heading is legal, advocates, services of legal nature. Legal service. CGST, IGST, entry number, entry number. Now, advocates are also providing some services to the clients. So, services which are provided by an advocate. Services provided by an advocate, or so many big legal firms have partnerships, or by a partnership firm of advocates. Oblique individual advocate. So anyone can be there. Other than a senior advocate. Now, senior advocate is separate designation given to those renowned people who have made some name on the basis of experience and knowledge. So many renowned lawyers. These all are senior advocates. The big names are Arun, former law minister and finance minister Arun Jaitley ji was senior advocate. Currently, Kapil Sibal ji is senior advocate. Ram Jeshmalani, these big names. Harish Salve, you must have listened these names. So there are many names who are senior, who are in the designation of senior advocate. So when other than senior, now for senior advocate we have separate count. Other lawyers or a partnership firm of advocates, when these are providing legal services. To whom? To whom? To any person other than a business entity. Suppose I have gone to any advocate for taking any consultancy related to legal requirement, and that person has charged 20,000 rupees, then it is without GST. Without GST. If not to an individual but to a business entity, then we have some conditions. To a business entity with an aggregate turnover up to that limit in the preceding financial year, as make it eligible for exemption. Exempt from registration under GST laws. If you remember, for registration we have separate turnover limits, 10 lakh, 20 lakh or 40 lakh, depends upon the different cases. So if the business entity's turnover does not cross that limit till which it is exempt, so any service provided to that business entity by this advocate is without GST. Government also takes the advice of lawyers. So any services provided to these lawyers, to the government, is tax free, no GST. Provided to another advocate, between firms and between advocates also consultancy goes on, and the person will charge some amount. So provided to another advocate, oblique partnership firm of advocates, of course, tax free. So this is another form of partnership form of advocates, or individual is also providing legal services. Tax free. Now in the same heading, this was for example heading 1, in the same entry number. Now second, let us talk about senior advocate. Let us talk about senior advocate. What services of senior advocate are beyond GST? So this is my second heading. Services provided by a senior advocate of course legal services they will provide. They can provide other services also, but exemption is for legal services. Legal services to whom? To whom? To all the above first three. To whom? To these three, not fourth one. So any senior advocate providing services to A point as explained in previously, B point and C point, that you can note down yourself. Note down yourself. From point 1 above. Same thing. In these cases, it is also what? Tax free, no GST. And what do you mean by this business entity? That is necessary for you to know. That what is this business entity? It doesn't mean that the business entity means a non-human person. Any person who is carrying out business. So if I am a businessman, I will be known as business entity. So what is the meaning of business entity? Meaning of business entity. Any person carrying out business activity. So even an individual, if having a business, will be known as business entity. Any person carrying out business is known as a person, or is known as business entity. So it does not mean that only firms, companies are business entities. As an individual, you can also be called as business entity. So in legal, I have discussed 3 points, 2 points for the time being. Services provided by advocates, senior advocate, and third is tribunals are also there. This is the last in legal. Tribunals are also there. Arbitrary tribunals. So third point is what? Entry number is same. Services provided by an arbitral tribunal to, first point, to any person other than a business entity. Tribunal also charges some fees and some charges. So if that tribunal is providing any service to any person other than a person who is not a businessman, that means other than a business entity, then that is exempt. To any person other than a business entity. Then same thing. Viewpoint is same, just like this point. Or you can say point A is same, point B is same, point D is same, point C is same. So rather than writing complete thing, I can simply say that A, B, and C, you should note down yourself. These are same. So technically heading is only changed, otherwise the points are same. Note down yourself headings from point 1 above. So arbitral tribunal is providing any legal services to any person other than business entity and government, and that is also without GST. So I have covered 6 services. 7th, services provided by an artist. This is my 7th service. Services provided by an artist. This is entry number. Now in this case, which service is tax free? Services by an artist. Now artist, anyone can be an artist, but we have only limited exemption. By an artist, by way of a performance. If Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, if these people are charging 1 crore rupees, 50 lakh rupees for an event, it is taxable. There is no exemption. So only to whom exemption is given? Services by an artist by way of performance in folk or classical art forms of music, dance, theater, that means acting basically. And if the amount charged, if the consideration charged for such performance does not exceed how much? Is 1,50,000. Then it is exempt, tax free. And one thing, no exemption is available if the artist has performed this service or performed as a brand ambassador. No exemption if the services are provided by this artist as a brand ambassador. If someone is providing the service as a brand ambassador, then no limit of 1,50,000 works. Ambassador. Now I think we should wait here. Or remaining we will cover in the next lecture. So I have covered with you 7 categories, and it's better if you revise these names or learn these from these notes only, otherwise these are very lengthy and there is no limit or no end to learn these exemptions. So better to revise these exemptions from these notes only. Yes, everything is clearly visible also, you can note it down easily. So that's all from my side. Goodbye.